So we are proud to announce that our M&P 9 shield has grown up and it decided to become a 45. Welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot and thank you guys for joining us for our review on the M&P shield in 45. Kind of unexpected, honestly. An unexpected gun that was announced at NRA show, but one that I definitely am happy to see. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Welcome to our channel. Of course, my name is Headshot, and we are going to go through the ins and outs of the M&P shield in 45. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna do pros and cons. We're of course gonna do some shooting. We're gonna look at the subtle changes that Smith & Wesson has made to this platform to accommodate the 45, and really look at, you know, do these changes make sense now to carry a 45? And what I mean is a lot of the 45s you see out there are really too big for everyday carry. That's just my opinion. A lot of people will tell you that they'll carry, you know, a big gun just to accommodate a 45. But we're going to look at these changes and see if this is a practical carry 45, a shootable 45, and all that. Big thank you to Smith & Wesson for sending us this gun. It's always nice when we don't have to pay for these guns for a review. This is the first one we've ever got that we did not have to pay for. It's even better when a company tells you, hey, we'll just send it out to you. There's no extra, hey, you know, don't put this in the video or nothing like that. So nothing on this review is going to change. The only thing that didn't change is we didn't have to pay for it, and we really appreciate the support from Smith & Wesson. So let's go ahead and show you what it comes with out of the box, and we'll show you the features that they have done with this gun. Still comes in a cardboard box, not a huge deal. The price point, the MSRP is around $479. Street price, I've seen them around $400. We're in August 2016. So you get your manual. You're going to get 2 magazines. All right, so basically what they did is you have a 6-round flush magazine. All right, so the capacity is the exact same as the 40. It does say +1 on this one. When you have 6 rounds in here, it's only 6 rounds, but when you see +1, you're going to see the little spring. And then on your extended magazine, it's going to be 6 plus an actual extra round, so 7 rounds. All right, so very nice there. Like I said, with the capacity being the same as the 40, that's a pretty awesome thing. Now, of course, the dimensions have changed a little bit. So let's go ahead and move this box out of the way, and let's look at the features of the M&P shield in 45. Now, up front, you do not have a spot for a rail. Of course, on this size of gun, I don't think it's needed, but nothing's changed there. Rounded off trigger guard, pretty much all the same in there. You'll notice at the front of the slide, though, now you have fish scale style serrations like they do in all their 45s. So if you want to do press checks or something like that, one thing I would have liked to have seen from them is if they extended them the full length of the slide, or maybe came up a little bit more and maybe pushed the logo back, because functionality, you really got to dig your thumbs down there to be able to get that to work for you. Or you could do something like that, I guess, but aesthetically it looks good, but functionality, it doesn't do a whole lot. Coming around to here, this is one of the biggest changes, and I absolutely love it. You can tell on the grip there, it is very aggressive. It's kind of like a custom stipple job. I mean, it really feels great. Compared to a regular shield, you can really see a big difference there, and you can really feel it. So I really do like that. They changed the logo now, so it's just M&P down here instead of the Smith & Wesson military and police style. Not a big deal at all. They are out of the gate coming with or without a safety. Of course, we got the non-safety version. That's the one I like. So very nice there. On the magazines, you'll notice that the followers are orange, so you don't mix them up with your 9mm magazines. And also on the base plate on the 7 rounds, this is a nice change as well. On the old Smith & Wesson 9mm and 40 mags, you had this little extension that would rise up. A lot of people were concerned with that because if you pulled it out of your pocket and it was in somewhat of that position, getting it in the actual gun could sometimes be an issue. On the new 45, they have remedied that, so now it's just one solid piece. So very good move there. I really like that. As far as the other changes, you do have what looks to be standard M&P sights. Okay, so it looks like the sights from a regular M&P will work because the thinness has not really changed. You can see they are just about the same width. So very, very cool. It's actually really impressive that they got it that thin in a 45. Very nice. These sights are not adjustable in the rear. They can be drifted out, but they don't recommend that you actually drift them, you know, one way or the other. But your front sight is drift adjustable. Coming to the other side, of course, there's nothing on this side, and you cannot reverse the magazine button release. So you left-handed shooters, that might be something to consider. All right, so some pretty nice changes here. Very decent capacity. I was actually very impressed with the capacity. As far as specs here, we'll go over this stuff really quick. The barrel is now 3.3 inches, so you have a little bit longer barrel compared to a regular shield. The regular shield is 3.1. Overall length is going to be 6.4 inches. Of course, it's going to be a little bit longer. The M&P Shield 45, it's listed at 0.99 as far as the frame width. On the regular shield, it's 0.95. So you have very little difference between the actual width of the gun. Overall height is 4.8 inches with a flush magazine, so it's a little bit taller. And then the weight, unloaded weight is 20.5 ounces. So very decent weight. They kept it about the same size as a regular shield. Let me go ahead and show you in comparison what it looks like to a 9mm. Of course, a 40 shield is going to be the same overall dimensions. So if we put them on their backs here really quick, you will be able to tell you have a little bit of difference right there. Now, of course, this is a 9mm. It holds 7 rounds in the flush base plate. This one is going to hold 6. So overall, there is not a big difference here, but this grip does make a big difference when you're actually shooting and firing the 45. And of course, we'll talk about the trigger and all that kind of stuff after the shooting part of the review. But very impressed. They kept it as small as they possibly could. And then in the front up here, you'll see that you have a little bit longer of a gun. But in and throughout the trigger guard and all that, it is about the same. You can see that from up top there. They changed the barrel hood just a little bit. It's straight. And then, of course, you do have your loaded chamber indicator up there. Breakdown on the gun is exactly like any other shield. You can pull your little lever down inside there, or you can just rotate this down. All right, let it fall forward, pull the trigger, and boom, there you go. The recoil spring is redesigned. It looks like it is much easier to get this in and out, so I do like that. And of course, you do have your big old 45 barrel there, so very, very awesome. Internally, nothing looks to be too much different, but I can tell you that trigger is definitely different. One added bonus to this gun that I really do like right off the bat is the slide is much easier, much more refined, and smoother as far as the action. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the shooting part of the review. After that, we'll do pros and cons, what we thought about this guy as far as the way it shot, the way it handled the 45 round, and we'll talk about if I think this makes sense in a 45 caliber as far as the shield. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah. Nice. Nice. I'm going to aim for that bolt right there with the on the target and see where it's actually grouping at here. Nice. Yeah, it seems to be right on target. It's grouping really well. As far as the recoil, you can tell it's more than the 9, obviously. It's not like it's the same kind of recoil, but what's great about a 45 is it kind of pushes you. You know, it doesn't really snap like the 40 does. I have shot the Shield in 40 and I do not like it. I do not enjoy shooting that gun. But in 45, just kind of pushes you, lets you know it's there. And this thing is really awesome. I really like how it shoots. It's very, very accurate. So I just learned an important lesson of how valuable these things are. I definitely heard that 45 for sure. It was pretty loud. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Got it. Nice. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. As you can see, this gun is a heck of a shooter. One thing I think that we were expecting, the both of us, was a lot more recoil out of the platform. I was kind of anticipating in the beginning, that was just me, but once we settled down, I kind of realized this is an awesome shooting gun in the 45. Now, if they would have kept the grip the same as this one, as the regular Shield, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. On this gun, I have smaller hands. I'm able to pretty much get a third finger on there. The grip texture, although slightly aggressive, it feels amazing as far as holding this gun on. And it just, honestly, it really tamed the recoil down, being able to get that grip high up and with this grip texture. It just really handled that well. So I really do like that. I like that they extended the barrel out a little bit. They could have really just rebranded a 9mm Shield and kind of reworked the innards to make it work for a 45, but it seems like they made some really honest changes to make it work. Not only work, but work well in this platform. So I was very impressed with the way it shot. It's kind of nervous, to be honest with you, that it was just going to be too much in a smaller gun, but I think it really worked out, to be honest with you. Let me go ahead and show you the trigger. This is a much improved trigger from any of the Smith & Wessons I've ever shot. Of course, you do have a split hinge design still. You're going to meet a very defined wall and a very clean break, and then check this out. Very clean reset. and you're right back there. Let me go ahead and show you the weight here really quick. So let me go ahead and show you the Performance Center shield here really quick. This one's improved over the regular one as well. That one's 6.5 pounds. That's about what I've been getting the whole time with that. Let me show you the regular shield here. This one has a lot of rounds to it. 5 pounds, 14 ounces. So it's a little bit lighter than that one. And then the 45 shield, 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Let's do it one more time. 5 pounds, 8 ounces. All right, so as you can see, the trigger is lighter, it feels lighter, and it feels much better than any of the M&Ps I've ever shot. Very nice job doing that. It even feels better than the Performance Center, which I thought the Performance Center was a heck of an upgrade, but this is even better. So really, really nice there. That's something you'll want to consider. If you're a trigger snob, if you hate Smith & Wesson triggers, this is a good one. Really, really good one. So very awesome there. The combination between the trigger and the grip and them lengthening the grip really made this gun very enjoyable. We did have one hiccup that you've seen right there on camera. That was within the first box. After that, I did clean the gun. Normally, I'll go, sometimes I'll clean them, sometimes I won't. But after we cleaned it and ran some more rounds through it, we didn't have a single issue. So I could definitely call that a break-in type of thing. So as far as shooting, went great. As far as carrying the gun, I'm going to assume that it's going to be just like carrying a shield, except with a little bit longer grip. A little bit heavier, maybe I think it's like an ounce. Not much different, guys. I think I can honestly say, even though we haven't carried this, we don't have a holster yet, a Tolster holster for it, I'm sure it'll carry just fine. No worries there, at least on my part. It's not that much different. Let's go ahead and talk about pros and cons on the 45 shield. The first pro is that grip, man. You don't have to worry about putting anything extra on this. It's already done for you, and man, does it feel good. They did a great job with that. Also, they kept the magazine button release the same exact way, which I really love this magazine button release. Also, it feels like they kind of sharpened and widened these fish scale serrations a little bit. I don't know why, but it just feels like they're a little sharper, but they bite into your hand really well. I've always liked these, but they feel a little bit more aggressive, so I do like that. It handles the 45 like a champ, and that's something that I was, to be honest with you, very surprised. I mean, it really just handled that 45 like it was, I won't say nothing, because the recoil is more than a 9, and that's, I think, to be expected, but it wasn't a whole lot more. It wasn't like it was uncontrollable, so they really did a good job as far as the changes they made as far as there. With or without a safety right off the bat, you don't have to wait for a non-safety version, so that is really nice. Of course, you have a lifetime warranty, and of course it's made in the USA, which is always great. And you get that shield reliability, which I believe this gun will be just as reliable as the other ones in the lineup. Except it's going to leave much bigger holes. So if you're a 45 person and you love the 45, but you've never been able to find a gun to accommodate the caliber you love, I'm gonna have to say I think this is probably one of the better ones that I've seen. I know people are gonna mention the XTS and 45, that they've been doing it for a long time, and that's true. We're gonna have to maybe, hopefully we can get one to compare, but for now, you do get one more round in this gun. So it's just, you know, something you have to consider. There are options though. There are other options in the 45 platform. This being one of the smaller 45s we ever done though, I really, really do like it. And I think it's an actual carryable 45. You know, it's not too big. It's something that I feel a lot of people would actually carry on a daily basis. And then the action, they clean that up. I think that's definitely a pro as well. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the cons with the 45 shield. Every single gun has them, and there's a couple that I see with this platform. First off, the magazines. When you first get these magazines, you may have a little bit of trouble loading them. I noticed that if they're not fully seated to the rear, which most pistols are going to be anyways, or you might have a little bit of a gap, You just got to really break these things in. But now that's the 5th round in there, and that is the 6th round. They're just really stiff, so just give it a little bit of time, let them break in. But I noticed right off the bat when we first started loading these, I couldn't get past 2 rounds in there because they would just hang up and they wouldn't go in. We used the magazine loader, and now they're doing a lot better. But it's just one of those things. Also with the magazines, this is kind of an M&P thing that I've noticed over the years, is sometimes they'll go in really easily, and then sometimes you'll get this effect where you just got to pop them back in. A little bit of the unrefinement I've talked about with the M&P. Now, one thing that I cannot complain about is the way the slide, it's just so much smoother. They really cleaned up this action and made it not as stiff and made it a lot smoother. So I will say that they cleaned that up, and it feels a lot better there. So the magazine's a little bit of a con. The grip, I see this more as a pro, because without this grip texture, without the little bit of lengthening of the grip, I don't think this gun would have been as much fun to shoot. But inside the waistband, if you don't have a shirt on in between your skin and this, it may rub some people the wrong way. Just something to consider. And also, this being a smaller gun in a 45, you know, if you're a newer shooter, if you're looking at maybe this being your first gun, I would just think about it. I would definitely get some practice and just make sure, you know, you can handle something like this. I wouldn't hand this to a new shooter and say, hey, yeah, go have fun. You know, because, I mean, it is a smaller gun in the 45. With that being said, the changes they've made, I feel, really make this gun very controllable. But it's just something to consider. It is a smaller gun, so, you know, you'll definitely want to keep that in mind. The only other con that I find on this gun is just the breakdown. If you don't use the lever on the inside of here, which, you know, Smith & Wesson, you know, that's what they have in their manual. That's how they would like you to break it down. But to do that, you got to rotate this down. It is a little bit stiff, so again, just let it break in. It's just one of those things. The front cocking serrations, we already talked about that. Aesthetically, they look really good. Functionally, you know, it gives you a little bit more. I just wish they would come up a little bit higher. Other than that, they really, really did some nice things with this gun for sure. The price is right, around $400 to $425. You know, some people have called me a Smith & Wesson or M&P fanboy in the past. This isn't helping me. This is not helping me, because I really love what they did with the 45 shield, man. So there you go. I was a fan before. I am a fan now. This gun really surprised me, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I was expecting something different. I was just expecting an unshootable kind of novelty, and it's really not that. It's really more of a shootable, hard-hitting 45 shield, and I gotta say, I absolutely love it. So I think the changes they made work. I think this is an actual, real carryable option in the 45 platform. And for you 45 guys that maybe haven't liked the other options that are on the market, this is one I think you should definitely look at and consider. There you go, guys. Thank y'all for watching. We will see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.